Alright guys, the reason why that you guys are not seeing RPG Maker MZ today, as, well, I guess you are, so basically right now we're waiting for RPG Maker MZ to update. This is probably something that that you guys need to know about, how to, create your own tile sets, or creating things to improve your tile sets in this game. Now, in this game, I actually have decided that I am changing some things to the world things, changing things to make this game seem more realistically me for this game. I was basically, during the demo, it was more of the money. I was waiting on money so that I could be able to buy these things because I have a regular day job that I have to wait, and I was waiting till today to get some stuff done for this video. So this is why it's taking me a little bit longer. And basically, we're going to show you guys on how to actually do tile sets and how to make tile sets look much more for RPG Maker MZ. This is going to follow the same thing as MV a little bit, because remember, MV and MZ are somewhat similar to each other in a lot of things. So, as you guys kind of see, let's launch RPG Maker MZ. We're waiting for some waiting a little bit of an update. It seems like that my updates for Steam doesn't take as long as PlayStation. I don't get it. As you know, we're actually looking in to this. We're gonna change. I've been wanting to change the Aether Mountain a little bit here. Now, here's how we can create a dungeon. Okay, a lot of times when you want to just bring in a tile set that you've gotten off the internet or bought through DLC through Steam, you guys can actually bring the content from your RPG Maker projects, from wherever you have them stored. So just remember, wherever you have them stored, you want to, if you're doing tile sets, you want to bring it into the tile sets. But how to bring it in with a tutorial, we're going to go into settings. Okay, we have tile sets. We're going to actually bring it, we're going to copy the dungeon. We're going to paste this here. We're going to call this one, we're going to put this in caps lock, SF Dungeon. Okay. Just going to apply it. We're going to rename that as FF Dungeon. Now, I copied Dungeon because sometimes you do that. Copy what you're looking at, and stuff for bringing tile sets. But I'm doing it that way so that we don't need that. We need the let's go to Game Tools, Resource Manager. Okay, go to Resource Manager. Battlebacks, as you can see, we're actually going to bring in tile sets. We're going to need to import tile sets. Okay, now this is RPG Maker MMZ, but we actually need to click on DLC, hit Control C, cancel, import, and then hit Control V. Okay, and then you want to come down here, find futuristic dungeons, bring in your tile sets in here. Okay, these are tile sets alternate. We're going to bring in all of these in here. Okay. We're going to bring it all in as an import. Now, we also are not going to import the Dungeon A stuff because we're not going to alternate. Now, when you go in, after you've done that, you can go into your tools, go back in your database. Okay. Dungeon A1. Okay. We're going to leave that it's still allowing for Dungeon A1. Okay. And for the ground, This one needs to be AD2. Now we have A3, which I don't think needs to be shown up in here. So there is nothing there for building type. Walls, we are going to, for walls, this is a 4. And then this one's probably a 5. Because this is how you can bring in your stuff. Now we could easily switch it over to that and make that kind of a dungeon. And we'll kind of do 2 versions of this. So that we'll change the maximum. Let's go to 9. We're going to copy and we're going to say, we'll paste it there and we'll change the walls and we'll say SF Dungeon 2. Okay? And hit apply and hit OK. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Aether Mountain. We're going to hit edit this. We're going to change this dungeon and we're going to bring it over to here and make dungeon look like this. Okay? Now, when we do so, I want to change, I want to see if we can filter this in. To filter things in. So, no, hold on. And then now all we're doing is we're just replacing the tile sets in a lot of the gameplay. So, and then we'll gather you, fill you there. Okay. So now we go out, and this is kind of the reason why I'm making it seem sci-fi is because I wanted to bring in and show you guys what it is like bringing in and how to actually do it. Now, when you look at something in the RPG Maker tile set, okay, so because I wanted to show you guys what this tile set actually does and what it will actually help in making, is that the sci-fi, like, we're going to clear that out because there's no point in needing it. Like, this is a sci-fi dungeon. This isn't, this is making it seem a little bit more sci-fi. As you can see, it looks totally like a different title of a dungeon. As you can see, we could easily set that there, but nope, I need to, you can clear that out, put that there. But we look at it, it's just a different skin, pretty much. And I didn't want to do this. So let's go into settings. We did not change the dungeon B. Because we need to have C in here as well. We need to change these. And then we have E. And this would actually be D. And then we have E. There. We're going to actually use this one here. We're going to do that. We're going to follow in the opposite direction here. We need to make sure that we change this because I didn't, to B. And then C, D, E1. Now we could have copied the inside area, and it would follow, like, cause see, B and C would show up as if it were inside. Now, if you're looking at D and E, okay, now, as you can see, the dungeon does not look perfect here. As you can see, D and E, like D, I feel like D, like if we say inside D, you know, it looks weirdly, elongated. If you look at it and you bring it in, you want to make sure that when you look at things like A's fine. I'm not going to change the A because I'm not really fussed about it. Nor am I fussed about it with, like, B. Like, you want to make sure that you look at the passages and stuff. And you want to look at it and say, okay, we got things in here that might not be, like, you know, you look at this one. This is more of, like, nature kind of stuff. When you look at things, you know. And you got this here that, you know, you got sci-fi where it's dungeon-like-esque. And it could be like a city in here, but it's not. It's going to be focused heavily regarded. And you look at this here, it's like, you want to, like, look at what you're doing when you're making, like, dungeon stuff. Because I'm not finding anything that looks like a... Okay, but we're gonna refill. We're basically just gonna just fill that there because we can. So, you know, the reason why I'm having you look at this is because let's go back into our settings. Okay, now, you know, I was thinking, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent there. I was just trying to, I had something else in mind, but I gotta show you this. So when you go into dungeons, you want to hit, like, okay, see, E, you don't want to have, we're gonna have these be set up. Certain things, like, you don't want to have, like, these should not be, like, allowed to pass through. When you see an X, it's allowing for you to pass, not allow for people to pass through. Okay. We're gonna say no to passing through like that. And then when you see the star on these, this means that you are allowed to it seems like you're allowed to like pass through and stuff. So like, see, we're gonna have that pass through behind, but then those are not allowed to see. Like, you don't wanna. Okay, if you see X means you cannot pass through it. Circle means you can. Okay. I don't know what's in those. I'm not even gonna probably use those. If I do, I'll come back and set those up. So we're gonna say you can allow. And then we'll do something like that. No, 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 and no. And we're gonna say no to those because I think that's more. And I don't know. You can also make sure that when you want to set like a damaged floor, let's go to D. Okay. And let's say you wanted like a damage, like D is gonna set you as a damaged floor. So for example, like let's say you get into touching some of these things. A floor means basically this just identifies as a damaged floor. Like let's say I want to set that as damaged, it's just gonna deal it as a damage. Bush is gonna tell you this is gonna be like if you like flower beds, things like that, allowing you to put flower beds. Ladder means ladder will mean that it's an actual ladder thing. Like this, we're going to actually set that up to being a ladder because that is what it needs to be. These up here, that one, not a ladder. These are not ladders. So you want to look at how you would input and how would you create the things when you want to bring something in. Now, it's not necessarily necessary. We look at passage, it's just going to say I'm going to put no on those passage as well. I'm going to put behind. We're going to allow that to go behind. Let's do. That is access is like a piping system. Kind of thing like that. Allow being behind these. These are pipes that need to be going behind each other. Let's say no to those. There's same with that. Because we could even change this to, you know, the sort of. That to me feels like that could be. That one I feel like the way that it's set up. We are actually, what I'm going to do is we're going to set those like that, but we're going to allow that to be considered damaged floor. And then passage, we'll say no, oops. And then these look like they could be like stairs. So, but I'm gonna allow that to be a say no and just make it like signs, more or less. I'm kind of doing that right there is like kind of like stairs, a little bit. Because you want to look at that and make it seem and go through and say, okay, this is what needs to be, this is what needs to go behind, this is kind of things that are like that. When you look at directional, when you look at a page directional, this is set up so that page directional looks like things that are going from up or down. If it says it allows you to pass through this way, but it doesn't allow you to pass through this way, and so on and so forth. You know, kind of thing. So, kind of, this will act as, like, say, counter. This just means that when I want to talk to somebody from behind the counter, like, let's say, you're looking at a shop or an inn, and you have somebody there, you can make that a counter, and they will allow you to be able to talk over the counter, kind of thing. I'm going to allow it to walk behind it, but not like in front. I'll do the same there, but, and then we'll pause it there. Let's say we'll say no. I'll allow that there just because it's part of the, and then we'll close you out. Do that there, and then yeah, well, those is like rubble. And then we'll do everything like so. That, and then we'll have everything else. Because that's like lasers and stuff, and that's there. And then you can come over here and do it with D as well. We're just going to apply. The dungeon in here is going to look different. When you go over to A, what does E got in store? Because what I want to do is kind of, we're going to clear you out. We're going to place, we're going to place shift you over by 1, clear you out. And we'll just make a little, like, we might be able to, I want to check something real quick, guys. Okay, so let's go, let me go back into, let me go find the DLC area. Okay, we're gonna hit Control V. It didn't show up, so, which means we're gonna need to go back over here. Find Resource Manager, DLC. No, we need to delete that out of there. And then we gotta hit Control C, cancel, go over here, hit Control V. Okay. Back into the futuristic dungeons. Okay, this just basically, okay, so that's just the README file. Because I wanted to see if I could just bring these in. Like, there's character sets, and then there's parallaxes. that are there. But I wanted to kind of like, you know, you look at the alternate set. We didn't use like the alternate set. What's the alternate set compared to this one? It's the same. You know, so if we look at this one, they're the same. They're the same. Maybe slightly a little bit different coloration to it, but it's still the same. So I was just seeing if there was a way that Nandajula So basically, read the instructions before you install things, guys. That's what I was doing there just a moment ago. So if you guys want to see a lot more content from me, remember, hit that like button, hit that beautiful subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.